Um, so I got more of a JavaScript problem. Let me share it with you. Basically, what I need to do is to let the user to make a selection on the website. And then I'm going to take a screenshot of that and then do my magic on that screenshot. So I have built, so this is like the selection. This is actually what do you call it? An extension. And from here, I can let the user to make a selection. The problem is that the coordinates are wrong if the user scrolls. It doesn't take into account the scroll because what's happening is that I actually put a full window size extension. So when the window underneath is scrolled, I cannot take that, like it doesn't calculate that scroll. So this last value is the scroll. No, this last value is the scroll. So I don't know how to work around that, if anyone has an idea.
You mean you're trying to add the scroll value in and it's not working basically? Because that's what I was gonna say is you just have to like get the scroll value and add that in, but that's what you're doing. It's not working.
That's what I did, and it's not working. See, it like logs the same. Wait. So if I scroll and keep logging the value, it repeats it. It doesn't change the top value. And that's because it's actually the window underneath my extension that's been scrolled and not the extension itself. So I don't know how to get information from the browser tab.
I think so. Like when you open that extension, it basically becomes a part of the website. So I think you can use JavaScript and like target the page body scroll. I bet there's a way to do it directly with JavaScript.
So this is my code. What I did here, by the way, there is a tiny bug. It's not a bug, but something inconvenient when I try to type.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
You know what I mean? There's something like weird about it.
You can yeah, I don't know that. I would call it a bug. I don't know what's going on or why it happens, but it's really annoying.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about. So this is how I'm trying to target the scroll.
There's another way where you do scroll top with a capital T. I don't know. Let me just Google it really fast and see if I can. Yeah, element.scroll top. So you can do like if you do document.body.scroll top, it would probably find the scroll value. And it's like, yeah, capital T in top.
Okay. No, this says 0, but there is no scroll. Yeah, no.
That's weird.
But don't you think that it actually takes the scroll from the extension, because the extension itself, it's fixed, it's not being scrolled. The window underneath is being scrolled.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I think for an extension, like the way that they run, and Dorian, maybe I'm not totally sure, but I think they just open inside the running web page and they like become a part of it. So yeah, like document.bodies for the original website.
So I played a bit with styling to see what happens. Let me show it. So if I put a size of, say, a height of, I don't know, 7,000 pixel, and let me just put a background so we see what's going on.
And Maine, I'm just checking, but for sure the Chrome extension you've got running is the one for your dev environment. Like we don't need to publish it to check out the change that Drew had.
Well, yeah, I have published it, but I can.
If this is the way you normally test it, it's probably fine. She has me like sometimes like people are looking at a published version, making changes and not realizing they're looking at the published version that isn't getting their changes updated in real time.
No, it's not published. I mean,
Yeah, the gray wouldn't have updated because that's the extension loading there, right?
Oh, gotcha.
and I need to extend the size probably. Sorry. Oh, I need to put all. Sorry, guys. I think I have an overflow problem. Yeah. There
No,
we
this is great.
go.
Maine. It's always good to see how people work. Like, it's helpful to see.
Okay. So see what's happening here now. This is getting scrolled.
Mhm.
And now if I do my thing, I don't know what happened to the button. But basically my
the
point
extension.
is that this extension does not become part of the web browser for some reason. So when the web tab is being scrolled, it doesn't get registered by the extension window. It just stays fixed unless I scroll it too.
So you confirm that if you do this and scroll just the gray, like it does give you that scroll value?
Well, now I don't know what happened to my button right here.
Hmm.
It wasn't at the top.
Yeah, I did see it at one point. Maybe it just got scrolled away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, guys, you're smart. Okay, let's see. Inspect. Up.
Well, right now, I think in the JavaScript.
Yeah, see now it
have it.
registered.
Oh, that is.
Because I'm scrolling actually the extension.
Okay.
So my problem is to take this value not from the extension window, but
Yeah.
from the tab underneath.
That's actually confusing to me. I feel like that like seems buggy in a way, but I'm not sure.
Dorian, do you
We have
have,
document.body like encoded in there. You know what I mean, Dorian? Unless it's an iframe. If it was an iframe, this would make sense.
Yeah, like if we look at the element structure, we can confirm. No, like go back to the preview page and then go to the elements tab there next to console. Like this is part of the body, right? Which
Oh, look, it is. I see an iframe in there. That's why it's doing it. But why is it
yeah,
an iframe?
that's why.
Is that how our extensions are always set up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that's why.
Huh.
I don't know what an iframe is, so.
Well, in this, so like an iframe just lets you view another website inside of a website.
Um,
So and they're like for security reasons, they can't like talk to each other like that. Like there's reason to use an iframe to keep it separate. So basically, I don't think there's any way for that iframe to talk outside of it. I'm not sure.
Well,
I
through
think there's a way to do. So sorry to interject, guys. The
Yep.
widget thing I was just doing had this exact issue, and I think you can still listen to the browser in its entirety and listen to the parent domain, potentially.
Or like
Yeah.
Fraser just said, referencing the parent, like maybe we can say window.document.body.parent or whatever, however you write it in JavaScript. Same idea, and just go outside. I bet, I don't know, I bet that would work. We should try that. Let me just double
also
check.
wondering if there's any sort of like creative solutions using data listeners, like if you could somehow.
I don't
no,
think, 'cause we're
because
talking
that
about
can
accessing
be-
a non-builder site. Yeah.
right. Like we could do it through like a new Chrome extension action, because that's how we pass the information through the messaging service.
Yeah, because you can do like you can do a JavaScript thing called parent element and probably parse up, but you would never know like how far to parse up. Like I'm not sure if it'd be reliable, but if we had an action for it, that would be the most reliable way, I bet.
Yeah, we can try it really quick and see, like if you put this back to the original way you have it, and then let's try adding parent in that JavaScript. Where
It would be line 23. It says document.body.scroll top. We'll want to do document.body dot. Well, it's like you can do parent element, but that's not going to be the whole document body, you know? Like, I don't know if there's a way to find the absolute top parent element really easily. I'm just Googling it real quick. Parent, yeah. I don't know. I think we could like do it like for the website you're on right now. We could look at the HTML and be like, okay, we need to add, there's like 4 parent elements up, and we could type it in and get it to work, I bet. But then I think as soon as you go to a different website, it wouldn't work because there would be a different amount of elements. So I don't think that's a good solution. I think it might have to be what Dorian's getting at, which would be a custom action, because our actions have a system that can talk to the main website in and out of Bildr, basically. So that could probably do it.
I was wondering, like, you have a way to get the window height and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just looking at that action. I was like, we would just need to add a third or a new one there to get the scroll.
Okay.
Um,
Like, is it actually possible for you to do like to build the whole thing for me?
It definitely is possible, and it's also possible to edit the action that's in your project. Potentially, I don't know what it would take to do this, but if it's a matter of adding one more property, we might be able to even do it now. I don't know. Should we try it? Are you looking at the action, Dorian?
I was just trying to look at it. I'm not sure how it all functions there, but let's see.
Yeah, if it looks easy enough, if it looks hard, we can definitely still do it for you. But if it might be something that's easy in this case, since it's basically just another property in a system that's already existing.
Do you guys want to show show main where that's at? If she wants to maybe play around with it while Dorian, I think, is reading up a little bit more. Could we do that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You can open on the left side of the icon menu, there's like a kinked arrow, like a down and then to the right arrow for actions. Yeah, right there. This is like all the actions in your project. So it'll have that Chrome action. What you're in now is action types. That's like the actual inputs. But there's a tab on the top called functions.
Yeah, we should be able to add it in there.
Oh, nice. So yeah, just do a search for that action.
The bottom one, yeah. The last one, yeah.
And then yeah, the middle tab where JavaScript. This is the JavaScript that actually powers the action.
And then this is the switch where it runs through the cases.
So yeah, copy that. Do you know what it is? It scroll top, Dorian? Do you know?
I actually don't know.
I think that's what it is.
If that's what it is, we can try that.
So yeah, you can just change inner height to scroll top for that new one.
I'm not sure it's scroll type. I think it's.
Oh really? Yeah, if you know too, you can. I might be wrong. I just Googled it quick and it looks like scroll top works, but
Oh, let's try it.
And then yeah, change it just below there too in the red.
Okay.
And then you have to save on the bottom. Yep. And then Dorian, can we like just edit this into action, or should we put a new input field, or what's the easiest way?
Yeah, it's just an option in that existing argument. So if once you save this, go back to the action types.
Oops.
And then, yeah, open that get info. And then open the first argument where it says value to retrieve. Click on that. Scroll down a little bit. And then, yeah, click on that. And then in here, we're going to scroll down a bit. And then we'll see the select. We just need to add a new option. And it'll need to match the name we gave it over there, which was window.scroll top. And then, yeah, go ahead and save it. And then now we can try it. And then for this, because we made a change to the actual function of the Chrome extension, you will need to re-export it because the Chrome extension functions are part of the export. So this one we won't be able to test it just by refreshing. You'll have to delete the current extension you have, re-export it, and then try it again.
Okay, then let me try to do this while you help others, and then I'll keep you posted how it goes.
Cool, sounds good.
Awesome, thank you so much. This is so cool. I didn't have an idea we could change the actions like this.
Yeah.
All right, Maine, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Okay, so just let us know if you need to jump back on as you work. All right, so we had a great question, and thank you, Drew, Josh, and Dorian for that. Tom has a great question in the chat. Tom, I don't know if you want to come up, or I can just read your question and we can go through it. So feel free to unmute yourself if you want to ask.
Yeah, I don't have a problem asking a question. Thank you all for doing this. This is awesome. I just am trying to figure out the best way to listen to the audio of a tab and the microphone at the same time through a Chrome extension, based on the example that you guys just gave. I'm assuming just probably asking ChatGPT or Stack Overflow for a little bit of listener JavaScript code sounds like the right move, but I didn't know if there was a special module you guys had for that. Something.
I don't think there's a module, right, Dorian? I bet not, because that's pretty specific.
Yeah, no, we don't have one. It'd have to be a custom thing for sure.
But if you find the JavaScript, as you see, there's definitely ways. Like we might have to. I don't know. You might run into some stumbling blocks because it's through an extension. There's a couple steps, but we could definitely get you there. And like Bildr will somehow be able to do that for sure. But it's probably going to require custom JavaScript. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's understandable. And yeah, I think that'll be fine. I also probably have a pretty quick answer or question if anyone else, if it's okay, if I can just share my screen really quick. I have a pretty simple issue. I can't share.
And you're still sharing.
I think yeah. I'll stop.
I didn't even notice. It's so funny.
I'm not sure that I can stop main sharing. She got it. Okay.
Awesome.
Sorry guys,
so you guys are looking. You guys are looking at my Bildr, right? You guys see that?
Yep.
So all I'm trying to do is after this is basically a form, right? And I ended up using the web clipper template that you guys had a while ago. And all I'm trying to do is every time this button is clicked, I set these values to remain the same. So every time I open this right now, first of all, it ends up loading on the left side for whatever reason. I'll go to some other website, but it starts loading on the left side and then it loads in the right place. And all I want to do is every time I click submit, these values will stay the same when I refresh the page or go to a different page.
Okay.
So I was trying to set them to a variable, which I think I correctly did inside of Or this is supposed to be section ID, but I think I did that in the right place here. But for whatever reason, it's not like sticking to the inputs when, you know, when we refresh the page. I'm sure you guys understand.
Yeah, and it's because variables don't persist across pages. So it's just like a small technical thing. Like a variable would be just like in that session itself. So when you bind to a variable, like you might have a page inside of a page when you're passing it variables, or you might, there's other ways that you bind those variables. But what you can do is either set a cookie or set local storage, and we have actions for them. So instead of set variable, you do set cookie or set local storage. That's one way where that'll do it for the browser. So that'll save it in the browser. Exactly. If you have a signed in user, you could save it to like a database and actually save it to the user itself.
Yeah, so I don't have have any users set up. Like essentially the API key is the user. So if that would just persist in local storage, I'll take that.
There's ones for get and ones for set, and they're just actions. You just basically use a name, and so that should do everything you need. It's if you need like help on them, just Google it, because they're just JavaScript get and set cookies in local storage.
Sweet. Okay, thanks. That was easy.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. Okay, let me see the agenda real quick so I can see if anyone's in the call. Is Hugh G in here by chance? Who's working on an Airtable integration? No. Okay. That's all that I had on my list. So I think we have open time. If anyone wants to keep going, we can, or we can wrap early.
I was speaking to a few people earlier today that I didn't know the answer to, and I was curious about maybe asking Dorian and Drew what their thoughts are on it. But also, it was someone that was prioritizing like an app that could be published on iOS and Google Play. And obviously we can't export directly to there. And one, want to know if you guys are familiar with or know the process that someone would go through to try to wrap a Bildr application to be able to publish natively, and or if it's just not possible today. I know it's definitely like a long-term thing that we would love to do and we could do. It's just, I don't know about today, right now, how that process would even look.
Yeah. Do you want to answer, Dorian? Do you
I haven't done it. Just PWAs is as far as I've taken it. Finding a third-party wrapper would definitely be the way, but I haven't attempted it, so I'm not really sure what it's all involved. I don't know, Drew.
I've never wrapped Bildr, but I've used wrappers before. And what it is like you find a wrapper, it's third party, and they'll give you hooks to do different things natively. So if there's like, if you want to vibrate the phone, there might be a hook. I mean, a lot of them are just JavaScript. So like Vibrate, for instance, is just JavaScript. But for the ones that aren't, they give you hooks, and you basically, it's like using an API, and you just kind of have to integrate it into your system. So I've never done it with Bildr, but I know people do it with bubble apps, and I know you probably can do it with Bildr. Like, I don't know, maybe you'd run into some wildcard thing, but you would basically just find one, follow the steps in their documentation. And, if you want to get fancy, do stuff inside Bildr that work with their documentation or work with their system, but you might not even have to. You might be able to just take your existing web app and wrap it for an iOS or for an app.
So that's cool. Like where when you're connecting to this wrapper, like are they really just loading like the URLs in like the background of like that wrapper? So they just don't, there's no address bar, but the navigation of the app is working that way? Or
I think that's basically what they do, but like Google Play will let you put whatever in for the most part. Apple's kind of strict about just wrapping straight up. Like they don't want you to just have a website, like have a browser without a URL bar. They'll reject your app. So I think these do a little more, as far as like they kind of like have a translator between web code and the native iOS or Android code.
so with Bildr, would we have to enable someone like would they need to be able to export the full set of code for their project to do this then?
I don't think so. But that's a good question. But I think it would wrap whatever comes to the browser, which is like what you would see in the browser. That's what it's going to wrap. It doesn't need like all the, anything else.
Cool.
But yeah, we need to try it. I mean, we might actually end up, I don't know, like it would be a crazy timeline. It's just like a random thing, but we might end up at some point accommodating this, and we would essentially probably build our own wrapper and just do what the library does. That's how we would handle it. So really doing it today with a third party is the same thing.
Nice.
And PWAs are on our radar if that's an option, I think, to actually like do a special session on or a tutorial for.
Yeah, because we did confirm you can do full PWAs with the manifest file and all this technical stuff. We can do full out. So we just need to get some education around that.
Yeah, and I think there was maybe one missing piece that's going to be coming in the update for like a part of it, but it's I think not something that you would need until like you get way further down the line of actually like building. So if that was a thing, you could start already. Just start building it. And can y'all hear that? No. Okay.
No, we hear you, but that's
okay. I think my husband's doing a mini film shoot with some creative director friends and I'm just hearing funny music, trumpets and stuff. I told them they could not play drums while I was on this call though, so
nice.
Very important. Okay, Tom does have another question in the chat. How might Bildr directly connect to a Progress DB? I'm not sure if I said that right.
Postgres.
Postgres. Okay, sorry. Thanks, Josh.
There's no like super direct connection to an outside database right now in a way where it's like acts like native data, but that's actually something we've been discussing lately as an important thing to build. So at some point, relatively soon, no timeline promised, I guess, but at some point we're going to have where you can basically have a separate database and then it will get treated in the studio with all the bindings, with all the actions, just like a Bildr database. For now, what you have to do is use the API action. And so the API action can do any API call. So what if your database if it's exposed via API, you just access it that way. And that's pretty much what we can do. But I mean, that works in most cases. It just as long as you can create that API or have an API.
And if Tom, if you know how like the grid rows work, for me, this was a big wow moment. And this is why I'm mentioning it. Like, I didn't really understand how grid rows worked. I knew it works with Bildr data, but not like with all arrays of data. So like if you were grabbing a bunch of data that you want to display in a grid row, for example, you would do that call, get the array back from the value, and then just set it into the grid row. And then the Bildr magic still takes over from there. So you'd set up page listeners on the grid row itself to like tie to the variables from the collection. But the grid list element that you set the overall parent array into would then just display all the values in the collection that you grabbed. So that was something for me that was really cool whenever I figured it out. So just in case that didn't make sense to you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's it's good to hear. I definitely would be a user of a Airtable integration or Postgres integration. It's just where the real engineers are keeping stuff in a Postgres database for at least on my team. So it would just be helpful. But good to know there's that option for now.
I'm excited to help prioritize that soon, because I think it's actually like really, really key for established companies that have data elsewhere that like want to use Bildr for that front end and for that experience of what they're trying to build. Super powerful, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think that I've seen it a lot in Airtable, especially, right? It's like becoming this data store for a lot of weirdly shaped teams, and being able to put an interface on it that's flexible, or a Chrome extension, right? That's like such a unique aspect to this platform, is the Chrome extension part.
Yeah, and I think
go ahead.
The cool part too there is like we can build it so that integration process will feel flexible to any sort of database that has traditional API calls to get an update and all that. And then we can probably even make it even easier for the Airtables, Zanos, Supabases, like the really common ones. Like we can even like streamline that a little bit more as we work on and like kind of tweak and perfect that product.
Is Safari extensions on the roadmap?
I have never been asked about a Safari extension, so
We've looked into them, and I think for the most part, yeah, I would say yes for sure. Like as soon as it makes sense, but I forget why we kind of like when they came out, we were like, oh, we got to get this integrated. I forget if it's just like a slightly different setup, but it's something we'll have at some point for sure.
Yeah, it's very close, similar schema to like Firefox and Chrome, but there is a slight little change. We just have to put it in our list to do things, but yeah.
Apple's so good about slight little changes that don't.
They make it.
Speaking to that, I'm really excited because Josh created the ability like an awesome place where we can track feature requests and y'all can go in and upvote. So Tom, I'm looking at you to go in and be like,
But you can't get
Safari extensions.
Smack me with that link. Where is that?
It's not, we haven't launched it yet, but it's coming.
It'll be cool. It's like a Reddit style upvote thing that people will be able to do, and we'll be able to get some visibility into it. And yeah, I'm excited to get that out there because it's stuff like this that when we see people request it, it's just way easier for us to know when to prioritize stuff.
And I think it's nice to have a visual tracker for y'all to have a visual tracker too, and be able to see like what is like everyone wanting and kind of seeing if there's any movement on that. So I think it'll be a good connection for us and y'all. Yeah. Thanks for pushing on that, Josh. I'm excited. That makes my support heart happy.
Drew hasn't given it design permission yet, so it needs.
Yeah, it'll go through the beautification process. Okay, so it looks like, oh, Fraser did give I think a tidbit for you, Tom, on Supabase using the Postgres SQL DB. So Maine did chat that it's still not working on her end. Can we maybe, do you want to pop back on, Maine? I haven't had any other questions come through, so we've got a little time.
Maybe it's the scroll top.
Yeah.
Have you tried scroll Y?
I haven't tried scroll Y, but I've tried page offset. I think it's an alias. I've just Googled it. So, like right now, it works worse than before. But let me show you what I did. Maybe I actually made a mistake in the way I declared the variables.
Yeah, it looks like scroll Y. I just Googled it and it's only for Windows, like window.scroll Y, but actually, well, I guess that wouldn't work in an iframe. I don't know. Maybe that would even work.
I think it probably doesn't work through the iframe normally. It has to go through the extension part to get the data from the page.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's what the action is doing. It's going through the extension, sending it through the messaging service. So
ChatGPT said it was scroll Y.
So like if it, I don't remember, but if the code said window dot only, then scroll Y should work. I just looked it up, window dot scroll Y. Or if you know page Y offset works, I mean, we should just go with that.
yeah, if that works, or that's what you were using before, right? And it was working in the iframe of the extension.
Yep. I'm just not sure that I declared in the right way here.
So
That's how
get
I should
page
do it.
variable.
I don't know.
Oh, I think we're just missing one attribute where we have to specify, man, there's a bug in production where you have to explicitly specify current again.
Oh yeah. Or can you replace current browser form with current? I don't know. You know way more than me. You should just
No, I think if we just add it, you can just add it after scroll top, do comma, and then, or well, let me see what the syntax is. Because this came up a while ago and I can't remember exactly what the issue was.
when I do this run JavaScript function, if I ever see current browser form like that, I replace it with the word current in quotes. But like, I don't know, like I never actually like looked at the docs for what that's doing. That's just something I do.
Yeah, and let's just try that because I remember current in quotes.
In lowercase though, not capital.
Yeah, all lowercase.
A comma?
Yeah, don't forget the comma. I'm trying to see because Dorel had chatted it to me and I can't find it. Let's see.
It says 0 value.
Mhm.
And you oh no, actually that's just the function. And you did re-export the extension, right?
Oh, but see is it the bottom one? Oh, it's doing scroll top as null. So window.scrollY is saying 0 and then scroll top is saying null.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which means
And that's just getting that variable right at the top. You go back to that JavaScript actually. If you go to the top to where it's getting that value.
which
Yeah, it looks like you do still need to specify current browser form, all in caps. And that will be the third property in the get page variable. So yeah, put current in there like you had, and then after scroll top, do comma, and then yeah, be current underscore browser underscore form, all in caps.
undefined.
It changed.
Interesting.
But maybe is there confusion with the new action change they made where we did scroll top before, where probably needs to be scroll Y or page Y offset? Is there any confusion in there, or is that all squared away, like in the JavaScript and then re-exporting the app and all that?
Yeah, I tried it twice. First, I put what you told me, Drew, and it didn't work. And then I put this one page offset.
Okay. And then did you re-export the extension after you did page Y offset? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we can get Dorel, our dev, to take a look at it because he can figure out what's happening. And
We can actually ask him to add scroll in either way, probably.
yeah, that might be
Figures it
faster.
out, he should add it in the main action.
Okay.
And
All
then,
right. So what would we need, Dorian? Would you want to be added to the project, or
at the moment, I don't think so. I just need to get Dorel to, because it'll be a quick thing to have him just go add that. And then once we know what the actual code should be, we can reach out. But maybe if you can just send me like a DM, just so I know. You're on Discord, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know where to respond. And that'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah, thanks so much for the office hours. This is super
Yeah, for sure. And we'll get that one added.
helpful, like myself.
all right. So does anyone have anything else? Because I think main was the last thing we needed to chat about. Or Josh, did you have any other questions from Discord that you maybe wanted to cover?
I don't I think so. Samuel's audio is toggling, so I don't know if he's trying to say something. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else now.
Okay. All right. Well, then I think we shall. Oh, Tom is raising his hand. What's up, Tom?
If there's nothing else here, I did just figure that out. So thank you, because I am one step forward now for that. My other question would be like, how do I eliminate the left, how it like loads initially on the left side of the screen and then pops back over? What is that attributed to?
We'd have to look. Maybe you can share your screen
Sure.
and go to the like the Chrome extension export settings area on the page. Yeah, and open that. So you have it set to pop up.
It says
Oh,
placed in the
this?
left panel. Yeah, that might be.
Yeah, that's why.
You guys got it. All right.
And you'll need to re-export it.
Yeah.
Are you changing it to the right, like using a style class, or how are you changing it to go to the right?
I don't know. I just want it on the right. It just comes up on the right. So I've just been going with it.
Gotcha. Yeah, there must be like a style class or something, but that's
Yeah,
what
it
controls
was
the initial.
There was originally like the chooser up here, like top left, top right, top left, bottom left, bottom right in the template, and I just don't need those in.
Oh, gotcha.
this.
Maybe it's still
So,
using some of that.
Yeah.
Just moves it.
Yeah. Get rid of this one. Snag this one. And
You could probably even as you try this, you could probably even get rid of that white by changing the background color in the export settings.
Yeah.
Oh, in the export settings too, you think?
Yeah.
I think it just has a white background and then it goes away when the app loads.
Yeah.
Make it transparent. That way you don't even see it.
Yeah, you can type transparent, or you can do. There's a couple ways, but that's
Yeah. What are the other ways? How would you do that? Normally, I wouldn't have intuitively put the word
usually
transparent
do-
there.
I usually do RGBA and then in parentheses 0, 0, 0, 0.
Okay.
It's like red, green, blue, 0,
Yeah.
so it's black, and then the A is alpha or transparency, and that's always 0.
Is there a hex code for transparency?
No.
I think so.
Yeah.
But transparent's valid. Transparent's like a real property and stuff. It's the same as RGBA 000, like I just said.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think that's what the browser ultimately converts it to anyways. It's all RGBA anyways.
Mhm.
Or you could do like HSL, any of those styles.
Sick. Thank you.
Woohoo. So Samuel does, in fact, Josh, want to ask a question. Samuel, feel free to unmute yourself or chat it in the chat. Maybe not. I think,
It doesn't say if someone's typing, so maybe.
okay. He had the hand up, but it could have just been an accidental raise of the hand. Maybe so. Okay, well, I think we'll end it. Unless you have Tom.
I'm just pumped. No, this is good.
I see your face.
good.
I'm like,
Yeah, no, I'm just building. This is great. I got nothing else. All of my problems have been solved, and yeah, I'm great.
yes,
Thanks for the
Office
lesson.
Hours was a great success today. Okay, so action items main, if you'll chat Dorian, and we can see about how we can add that action that you may need, or I'm sorry, function. I don't know what it was. I can't remember.
Just adding a new option to the get info existing action.
Okay, for the Chrome
scroll.
extension.
Yeah.
Super. Well, thank you everyone for making it today and making it a great session. We do this every week. So next Thursday, we will be on. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, y'all.